Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Ohio.
It's the final series of the regular season for the Tribe here at Progressive Field. And now the Central Division title is within their grasp. The Indians have 52 wins at home, the most in the American League, and an average of just under 6 runs per game. The magic number to win the division sits at 4. And a strong start from Trevor Bauer against the White Sox could move the Indians even closer. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It's another beautiful night for baseball in downtown Cleveland, just off Larry Doby Way, Progressive Field, home of the Indians, where they continue the homestand. Tonight, they welcome in the Chicago White Sox for the final 3 games of the regular season. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Indians still holding on to first place in the American League Central. Magic number down to 4, thanks in part to Carlos Santana, who had a great performance last night. You think back to when he first came up with the Tribe, maybe some unfair expectations placed upon him, but you cannot deny he's having a career year.
Without a doubt. He's reached base 22 consecutive games, second longest streak by an Indians this year behind Jose Ramirez. He's hit the long ball. He does his normal thing. He takes walks. He's been scoring runs. He's hit first. He's hit fifth. He's hit all over that lineup. So Carlos is really having a terrific year, and part of the offense is really because of him. 34 home runs this season, a season high. He will get a season high in RBIs as well. He has been very consistent, and it's been fun to watch Carlos swing the bat.
And even though he's going to strike out probably over 100 times, he's cut down on the strikeouts over the last couple of years, and so that's a positive as well. Speaking of positives, Trevor Bauer. Now, he had a rough patch against the Tigers in his last start, but overall he continues to show that he is going to be a key guy for the Indians come playoff time.
It was control issues last start for Bauer. He hit 3 batters. He hit Cabrera in the wrist. He hit Kinsler in the head. He hit Martinez in the knee. And I'll tell you what, they were upset, so I don't know what's going to happen after this series or the next time they face Detroit, but Trevor Bauer needs a good start. In his last 3 starts, he's given up at least 5 runs, and he hasn't gone 6 innings, so he has to turn it around, get it going for the playoffs. He's going to be matched up against Miguel Gonzalez, who beat the Indians last week when we were in Chicago, and he's 4-0 in his 4 starts against them.
All right, with the magic number down to 4, Indians and the White Sox. We'll be back with the first pitch. Plus, Andre Knott talks with Mike Napoli on what the team's focus is right now with the clock winding down on the regular season. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
3-game set starting tonight at Progressive Field. Welcome into our Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. After sweeping the Royals, the Indians' magic number now down to 4. Detroit sweeping a doubleheader yesterday in Minnesota, preventing them from lowering that magic number, and Detroit in action with the Royals tonight. And rookie right-hander Michael Fulmer will take the mound for Detroit, who right now is in possession of that second wild card spot by a half game. So we'll track that game for you, and a lot of action going on tonight in the AL East. So we'll keep you updated on that. Now we'll send it back out to Matt and Rick at Progressive Field.
And thank you, Ashley. A pleasant evening to everyone tuning in tonight. 89-63. That's the Indians' record. They've won 3 straight, 6 out of 8. And they lead the Tigers by a full 7 in the AL Central. And a chance to whittle that magic number down to at least 3 with another win here tonight. But once they clinch the division, there's still going to be more baseball to be played, and then there are postseason games to look forward to after that. So where is the team's focus? For the answer, we turn to Andre Knott.
Well, it's a great question. I think the one thing we found out in 2016, when you want to know the pulse of the Cleveland Indians, you go to Mike Napoli. Not only does he have the parties, but he also keeps his team at an even keel. And with the goal that they wanted of winning the AL Central right at their grasp, what other goals does this team still have since they're a half game out of first place in the American League? Tonight we sat down with Mike Napoli for tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
To be honest, it's been a really good feeling in the clubhouse. There's not really too much talk about come out here, play the game the right way, stay in our lanes and keep doing what we're doing. And we feel like with us doing that, we have a good enough team to take care of business. So it's been a fun time. It's been a fun year. We're getting down to the last couple weeks, but we just go out there and play the game the right way. We have fun with each other, and we've been doing what we've been doing all year.
Good thing or bad thing, you're seeing the same pictures from Chicago that you just saw a week ago. Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, the more you get to see a guy, the more of a game plan you can have against him. So, it's a lot easier for me, knowing the guy and what he can do and how he manipulates the ball and what he's done to me in the past. So it gives me a better idea of having a plan when I go up there and trying to execute it.
How much have you noticed, and I know you notice, but you've said you want that #1 seed. Is that still a goal for you as a leader of this team?
I mean, I think it has to be. The way we play at home, we want to have that. And, we're right there. It's good. We'll get to play, throughout the year and stay fresh and be able to do, go into the playoffs and have that same kind of energy and attitude throughout the season. So, you want to be able to play meaningful games down the stretch. You don't want to just having to take days off and not staying on your game. So I think it'll be a good thing for us.
Rick, I think rest is overrated. I think this team needs to continue to push as hard as they can to secure at least the #2, if not the #1 seed. They're only a half game behind Texas right now.
That's what I'm thinking, Matt. #1 seed. That should be the priority. That's the carrot out in front of you. Go get it. Because I'll tell you what, if they can play the playoffs all the way through in this ballpark, or at least have the home field advantage, that would be huge.
No doubt about that. Let's take a look at the lineup that Trevor Bauer will face tonight for Robin Ventura and the White Sox, brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Adam Eaton, boy, is he a pain. This guy leads the league in triples, always seems to be trouble for the Tribe. Tim Anderson bats second, Melky Cabrera third, Abreu, Morneau, Frazier, pretty good bats in the middle, Avisail Garcia, Omar Narvaez, and Carlos Sanchez batting ninth.
And our Honda starting pitcher tonight's Trevor Bauer. Trevor struggled in his last start, command issues in his last start. He hit 3 batters and he walked a few too, so he's looking to come back and have a good start. His last 3 have sort of been clunkers.
Bauer's first pitch up and away, ball 1. A little low. 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies here in the ballpark tonight. To a pitch, he swings, bloops it to left, but there's Coco Crisp, 1 away.
Well, let's set the Indians defense. It is brought to you by Jeep. Out in left field, it is Coco Crisp who just made that catch. Naquin is in center, Chisenhall in right. Ramirez at third, Lindor in short. Kipnis is at second, Napoli at first, Perez behind the plate.
Brian Knight has the plate. Jim Wolf at first. Crew chief Bill Miller second base. Tony Randazzo down at third. Rookie Tim Anderson having a terrific campaign, taking a called strike. I wondered what the White Sox would do when they parted ways with longtime shortstop Alexei Ramirez when he went out to San Diego. But boy, they had a young man waiting in the wings, and now that he's got his feet wet, I think they've got a pretty good ball player here that's going to secure that position for quite a while.
He's played well against the Indians. From every opportunity that we've had a chance to see him play, he looks like he's going to be a good one, no doubt. Just another good shortstop in this league.
Out of play to the right. Anderson just, well, let's see, it was 11 days ago. Equaled his career high with a 3-hit performance against the Indians.
That
Chased a
ball
breaking
bounced
ball.
and it hit his bat.
It sure did.
That was weird.
Playing cricket.
Yeah, look at him smiling. I don't know if he's smiling yet because someone's going to say something. Watch this ball hit out in front of the plate. It's the curveball. And he ends up getting a piece of it off the end of the bat. Unbelievable. He's lucky he did. That would have been a strike 3.
Or a double.
Yeah, there's the double.
There's a liner into the gap. And it goes off Chisenhall's glove. He might go for 3.
Yeah, he turned it into a triple.
And a 1-out 3-bagger for Anderson, his 4th on the year.
If they give him the triple. I know if he cuts it off, it would have been just a double. But I think trying to get there, it went off the end of his glove and it got by him to the wall. So he gets the break, and here comes Chisenhall cutting it off. No, never really could get it in the glove. He was trying to plant stop. So it'll go as a triple. And then he almost kicked it to the wall. So a 1-out triple, and the Sox have an opportunity.
And Melky Cabrera gets that chance. He's driven in 76 on the year. And he rips this one foul. Swinging a hot bat in the month of September, batting .321. And as the White Sox try to jump on top early, the Indians have been doing a lot of that late. They've scored first in 7 straight games, but it won't happen tonight. Chicago is going to play from in front. They lead it 2-0 on Melky Cabrera's 13th home run of the year.
Well, right out of chute after 3 hitters. They're going to take a 2-0 lead, and for Trevor Bauer, first inning continues to be a problem. He has a 6.23 ERA coming into this ball game. That is the 4th home run he's allowed in the first inning. And check it out on the Nissan Pitch Tracker. Down and in, right into the left-hander zone. The 13th homer for Cabrera. And give him 2 RBIs. That's 78 on the year.
Right back to Bauer. Easy flip. And there are 2 down.
Batting 5th for Chicago, number 44, the designated hitter, Justin Morneau.
Justin Morneau, a longtime Twin, went to Colorado. Now with the White Sox, he missed some games recently with soreness in his neck. That's been a problem for him, in addition to the concussion problems he's had. Breaking ball pulled foul, and Morneau in the hole, 0-2. Swing and a miss at the curveball, and the inning is over. But a triple and a 2-run yacker, and the White Sox lead it 2-0. The Indians are coming to bat. Go now to the bottom of the first. Tribe starting lineup presented by Progressive. Jason Kipnis will follow Carlos Santana as usual. Francisco Lindor batting third. Mike Napoli ninth in the American League in RBIs, hitting cleanup. Jose Ramirez. You'll find his name on a number of the top statistical categories in the American League. Lonnie Chisenhall, then Coco Crisp, Tyler Naquin, and Roberto Perez.
And our Hyundai starting pitcher, Miguel Gonzalez. He is 4-7 on the year. All 4 wins coming in Chicago on the south side, but he has a better ERA on the road by a run. He's 0-3 on the road with a 3.39. Go figure. They've had a hard time scoring for him when they're on the road, but they certainly helped him out in the top half of the first inning.
Carlos Santana takes low 2-0. Santana has walked 93 times this year, which is the 3rd most in the American League. He's usually right up there among the league leaders in walks, as that ball is blistered foul.
He's seeing the baseball very well right now.
But this year the difference for me is that it hasn't been drastic, but he's cut down on the strikeouts. And you never expect the guy with that kind of power to maybe cut his strikeouts in half, but you want to see him going the other way as opposed to going up.
Not half, but you know what? Control your swing. And I think he's starting to, he feels like he's getting that now. I saw where he said, I feel like I can control it a little better. He gets wild and he gets pull happy sometimes, like a lot of hitters do.
Well, he says, I get emotional and I try to do too much. And boy, how many times have we talked about that?
Well, the hard thing is taking the emotion out of the hitter.
Close pitch, takes it. It's a strike, full count. Because you're the only one up there in the box, oftentimes the hitter thinks I have to, I must, instead of just thinking more in terms of the team aspect of it.
Look at that.
A little boot to left.
About hot. That was a good pitch right there. He actually stayed on it. That pitch might have been a ball. It was. He went down there 3-1. He's going to try and go back again 3-2. See him turn it over. Look at that pitch is out of the strike zone. He did a great job to stay on it. Went right off the end of the bat. But when you're hot, things like that fall. They're not pop-ups to the shortstop or to the left fielder. They go in between, and Santana starts it off with a single.
Well, as good as his eye is at the plate, did he think that was going to be too close to take?
Probably.
Or is that once again you get to 3-2 and you lose that patience?
No, I think it's too close to take.
Here's Jason Kipnis now. Andre asked him if he feels slighted in any way because so much of the focus and attention this year has been on other people. It's been on Lindor, it's been on Napoli, it's been on Jose Ramirez. For a time it was on Tyler Naquin. Kip pops this one to center field. He said he didn't feel that way at all, and I think it's interesting though because quietly he's tied for 6th now in the American League in doubles. He's pushed his batting average almost to 280 now. He's 3rd. Actually, he's 3rd in home runs on the team. He's 2nd in RBIs. He's 2nd in hits. So he's done a tremendous job this year. It's just that there have been other people who've had the kind of years that maybe you didn't see coming, and so they've kind of captured more of the attention.
You got a lot of guys that have career years here, and that's the good thing about it. That's why they're playing so well. Everybody is doing their thing, and that's what you have to do. It's not a one-man band here. They need all 9 producing.
Francisco Lindor takes ball 1 inside.
I think the moment you try to do more than you're capable of doing is when you start hurting yourself, which in turn hurts the team.
One ball, 1 strike. Despite his recent slump offensively, Lindor still owns the 2nd best home batting average in the American League. He's hit .350 here at Progressive Field.
Yeah, Lindor's 0 for 19 and Napoli's 0 for 20. Your 3-4 hitters. and they're 5-1 on this homestand.
Yeah.
How about that? There you go. They can take a few days off, but I'll tell you what, they'll be back. It's just a matter of when, but they will be back.
It's something about this team that has enabled them to find different ways to win at home. They've won 22 out of the last 28 games here at Progressive Field.
That's why you just keep it close. As a pitcher, as a starter, you go out there and just keep the game within reach. And if you can get one late, turn it over to your bullpen, and they're dynamite.
It's kind of what happened last time.
Yeah, that's what it's been like all homestand.
One big swing late, put them up, and then lights out.
I think that bullpen has had 24 shutout innings.
Now the 2-2. And a foul back.
Yeah, sometimes when you struggle and you're a guy that's in the middle of the lineup like a Lindor, like a Napoli, you try harder sometimes. When in turn you have to try less. And I mean, it's hard for people to understand it, but don't try as hard as you're trying. Just relax and be yourself and take a single.
Upstairs.
Or take a walk.
No doubt about that.
Look at this on our Indiana Wesleyan University pitch tracker. It's up, maybe just a little off the plate, but it's a ball.
Ground ball right at the second baseman. They look to second. They'll take the out at first. Lindor retired. Santana in the scoring position with 2 down for Mike Napoli.
Let's set the White Sox defense for you. Now we have an opportunity in the outfield, left to right. It's going to be Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia. On the infield, third to first, Frazier, Anderson, Sanchez, Abreu, and Narvaez is behind the plate. Sanchez was a late addition, added to second base. Saladino was originally in the starting lineup, but Sanchez is in there tonight. Robin Ventura.
So Mike Napoli with a runner in scoring position and 2 down. Bounces it to third. Frazier backs up, flips it over, and the side is retired. We played an inning. It's Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing. And leading off for the White Sox will be Todd Frazier. Having a career year in home runs and runs batted in. He's knocked out 38, and that is tied for 5th. He's driven home 95.
You know, he's a guy too that wants to get that average up. He wants to hit more doubles. But if he would have done that earlier, he would have been in the middle part of this lineup. With the raw power he has, there's a good stroke right there, taking it the other way.
Leadoff single, 3rd hit already for the White Sox.
Check it out. They want that fastball in the leak middle of the plate. You see where the target of Perez is. It leaks back over the middle. And an easy pitch for him to take it the other way because it was elevated a little bit.
White Sox have been aggressive. They've swung on 11 consecutive pitches from Bauer.
Well, that's one they couldn't swing at.
That's usually one way to end that kind of a streak. Just bring it up. Garcia's been swinging the bat well of late. He's had a good year against the Indians. He's batted over 300 against Cleveland pitching this year. Overall, you see his numbers and you say, 248, 11 homers, 17 RBIs, somewhat pedestrian for a corner outfielder, but over his last 15 games, he's hit .310. Hanging off-speed pitch, popped to center. And that's out number 1. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Keep the ball down if you're Trevor Bauer. 1 up, 1 out already for him. And if he can get into the Sox bullpen.
Well, White Sox, they played the Indians very tough last week in Chicago, winning 3 out of the 4 games there. The Indians weren't hitting, though. That's one thing they're going to have to do now is hit enough. But for Trevor Bauer, settle in. He hasn't gone 6 innings in his last 3 starts. And in all 3 starts, he's given up at least 5 runs. 6 runs in his last 2 and 5 runs in the start. So he's 2-2 in the month of September with a 7.40 ERA.
Omar Narvaez has been in a slump. Just 3 hits in his last 30 at bats. That covers his last 8 games played. In the dirt. The catching position is probably something that the White Sox will take a long, hard look at in the offseason. They signed Alex Avila in the offseason to a free agent deal, but that was a 1-year contract. And I don't think he'll be back next year. Down low. The question is, Narvaez, do they view him as a guy that can be the future behind the plate?
A good question.
Still a relatively young player at 24 years old. Fouled off. Narvaez against the Indians this year has batted under 200, just a 167 mark at the plate, as Bauer tries to put him away here.
Make him stop. Yeah, make him stop. See, he gets on first base and he just waits till you come set and then just shuffles, and you have to make him stop. He had one huge jump when we were in Chicago, man, because they don't make him stop.
Missed outside in a full count. Well, I mean, that's how you get 12 stolen bases, just because people maybe
they don't pay
fall asleep
attention.
and forget about it.
Absolutely right. I say he's going to be off here with a 2-0 lead early. I think Robin will continue to apply the pressure at the bottom part of this lineup. Full count.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down.
There you go.
Hitting over. Strike him out. Throw him out. Double play. 2-0 Chicago. Middle of the second.
With the MLB.com at-bat app, you can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download the MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Jose Ramirez taking. That's a called strike. Bounces it between first and second to Brady with the backhander. And a nice flip. One away. The injury report tonight, courtesy of Elk and Elk. Tanaka will miss a start for the Yankees with a right forearm issue. Johnny Cueto will miss a start. That's probably more critical for the Giants. The Yankees, I think their boat has sunk in the playoff race. And that's not good for the Mets either. Mets, Giants, Cardinals. St. Louis a half game back of the other two in that wild card race. The Yankees began the night 3 back, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only got 10 games left, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when there's 3 teams directly in front of you, plus the 2 teams that are already owning the wild card positions, one of them being Detroit. Ashley told us at the top of the telecast that the Tigers, with that sweep, the doubleheader yesterday, moved in
right to a half-a-game lead.
Yeah, over Baltimore in that wild card race.
Well, the thing, the Yankees don't get to play Detroit anymore. That's the thing. You don't get to play the teams you may directly have to beat to get up there. And
it won't be easy for the Tigers. They've got the Royals this weekend. They've got 4 with the Indians, and then they've got to go to Atlanta. As Lonnie Chisenhall rifles it into right field, and it gets by Garcia, and then he falls down, and Lonnie will easily go to second.
Boy, he stopped twice, thinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to make it. That's got to be a base hit and an error. He got over there and didn't catch it originally. Then he's got to replace his divot, and Lonnie sort of slowed up, but then he slipped and went down to the ground and able to pick it up, and that's where the error is going to come. Watch, he doesn't catch it originally. Okay, so now he gets it. That foot goes down and gives way. Look at the divot, and that allowed Chisenhall to go to second base.
That's a big chunk of turf he just tore.
Yeah, it is. That's heavy feet.
I mean, he's a
Watch
big
when
guy.
he stops. Watch. He lands that left foot. Here we go. Trying to plant, and it goes out. So that'll be a hit and an error.
Now, if he was Chase Utley, he could have just flipped it behind his back right on the money, and they would have maybe had a chance to. Coco Crisp stands in, and he drives one to deep right. Garcia makes the difficult catch in the middle of the warning track, and Lonnie goes back to second base, 2 down. Boy, that was a nice play by Garcia, who
he was tested,
able to make up for it in a hurry.
Yes. He responded on the very next pitch. Comes back, and Coco hits this ball about as good as you can hit it. He's on the dead run. He's going to the warning track and makes the backhanded catch going onto the track. So a nice play.
Did you see the play Utley made?
Yes, I did, without looking to first base, and he flipped it.
I mean, he's like literally falling flat. His face is going into the dirt.
Yeah, well, he knew it. He had to get rid of it.
The flip was right on the money.
It was
to get the out.
It was nails. He knows. He's been on that field long enough to know exactly where first base is.
It's like when they say you could do it in your sleep. Well, that was a good indication. He could make that throw in his sleep. Tyler Naquin, the American League Rookie of the Month for both June and July. Now trying to help the Indians drive toward a division title here in late September. Pop foul, left side, out of play. Already the Indians have had a runner in scoring position twice tonight. 1-2. Good pitch. That was the kind of location the pitcher wants to have. He wants to keep it in where he can't extend the arm.
Well, it was in enough. You're right. But if he would have made it, you're right. That was a good pitch. And Tyler, he was hoping that was maybe 2 or 3 inches more to the middle of the plate, and that would have been his zone. But it was in enough, and now they were going to elevate, and they do.
Melky Cabrera's a long run, though. In the foul round, he makes the catch and slams up against that railing, jars himself a little bit. He appears to be okay, though walking rather gingerly as the White Sox leave the field. Chicago lead, and Carlos Sanchez, the number 9 hitter, will lead off for the White Sox. Down in the dirt. Last 9 games, Sanchez has collected 12 hits, including 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Not originally in the starting lineup. Tyler Saladino was scratched with some discomfort in his back, and Sanchez gets the opportunity to play. To center field, Naquin. 1 away. Down to Andre.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but right now, when you look at exactly where Trevor Bauer is, a little bit of an identity crisis or pitching, not a crisis, I hate using that word, but I know after the last start versus Chicago, he was frustrated because he felt like he had his best stuff of the year, but he said he hated the results, and then he hated the next results. And he says his stuff is really good. It just feels like he has one inning where he's snake bitten for whatever reason, and he's been, I know he's gone back and forth with Mickey Callaway, and it's like he says, last year I had the same problem. I was great in the first half. Second half, my stuff I felt was better, but I'm getting hit more. So the question I have, is it in between his ears that he's worried about, or is it, you know, mechanically what he's doing?
It has to be. It has to be. If you're going to do it time and time again, you have to make adjustments. And Trevor's been around long enough. He's going to have to learn. I mean, his last start against the Tigers, he was all over the place. And I know he was making a conscious effort to pitch the Tigers inside, but he drilled 3 guys. He walked them, and he just lost control of the game there. If he has better stuff, then he has to know how to use it. I mean, to get him out. Doesn't that make sense?
Curveball in there for a strike.
My stuff is better, but I'm not winning. Well, you have to sit back and say why.
There's a nice big hook, and that's over 0-2.
Well, the question I would go back to is I think sometimes he overthinks the process, guys.
Well, I also think a lot of times as a pitcher, you might feel really good. The ball might come out of your hand. Everything might just feel like it's on line. It's where you want it, and they still might hit you.
Yeah. No.
So it doesn't necessarily mean you might. I mean, I've heard guys say out there, boy, I didn't have much today, but he went out and pitched 6 innings and got the win. So maybe where Trevor's coming from is from a stuff standpoint, he feels okay, but the results just aren't there. Sox lead as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Roberto Perez will lead off for Cleveland, and then we'll go to the top of the order with Santana and Kipnis. We're happy to be joined in the booth right now by former Indians outfielder Corey Snyder, who's he's done it all in baseball. He's worked his way through a couple of different organizations, most recently with the Mariners. But your story this season is, I don't know if it's an all-timer, but it's a great story. So I want you to share it with us. You went to Mexico to be a hitting coach this year. Kind of pick us up from there.
Yeah, this friend of mine, Jose Melendez, he's the GM of the team in Puebla, Mexico. And it's kind of like their big leagues of Mexico. In fact, I had Derek Barton.
Right.
He was my first baseman. Niger Morgan played the outfield for me.
Okay, nice.
So I had some former big league guys there, so it was kind of fun. Huh? And, yeah, they asked me to come down, and he goes, hey, would you mind coming down and being the hitting coach for my team down here? So I'm like, well, if nothing happens in the States, yeah, I'd love to. So went down there. Great adventure. We went through the first half. It was outstanding. We're in first place. Things were good. And then something happened during the All-Star break with the manager, and they asked me to manage the second half. So I'm like, well, might as well. Let's do it. So I kind of managed and was a hitting coach. It took a lot more time, but we ended up finishing the whole thing, won the championship down there. It was a crazy summer in Mexico. It was fun. It was fun.
That's
Thank
awesome.
You. It's a good time.
So you didn't have a whole lot of time to watch any baseball here then. Obviously, you were busy all summer long.
It was crazy. Crazy but sad. I could only find one or two channels that spoke English.
Oh, yeah,
so
when you're done.
That was a hard part.
And they didn't have baseball, I bet, either.
Not a whole bunch. Maybe an ESPN Sunday night game or something, but it was really hard to watch.
All right, I got a question for you. The ball has been flying out of here, out of the major league level. Home runs all over. You've been a hitting coach. Was it flying down there as well?
Yeah, the ball flew pretty good. There were some places it didn't, but majority of the time the ball flew pretty darn good.
There are guys hitting home runs now, Corey, higher, farther than I've ever seen in a long time, and I just wanted to get your take on it. But seeing you didn't have an opportunity to see it.
I know they're bigger and stronger, but maybe it's that ball of the past that really had some.
Well, I know a lot of people are thinking about it because there's over 20 to 21 middle infielders that have hit over 20 home runs.
Holy cow, that's unbelievable.
God only knows how many have hit 30 now, and it's continuing to climb as we go.
Well, I'm trying to remember back. Was it 1987?
Yeah.
Was that before you came, or was that your rookie year?
Rookie year was 86.
80,
yeah.
So you were around then when the so-called rabbit ball was in play that year.
Right.
Do you remember anything specifically about that year, and then what happened maybe the next couple of years after?
I mean, the ball was, everybody said it was juice, but I mean, I think it was the first time in, I don't know how many years, that 3 Indians hit over 30 home runs in 1 year. Me, Joe Carter, and Brooke Jacoby back then.
Right.
So, I mean, it was kind of, we just, we loved it because we're hitting it. Of course. Pitchers weren't real happy about it, but we were hitting it, so it's okay.
So Swindell probably had his own argument on this.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But he loved pitching in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Said it was a pitcher's park. He loved those gaps that were 390, but it was crazy.
Well, we've got 2 Indians with you got Napoli with 34, Santana with 34, and Kip is the next one with 23. So they're close. I don't think he'll get 7 in the last 10 games, but that's a pretty good number.
Hopefully Napoli's up there. It's good. The questions they ask us at fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Who's going to hit the most home runs for the Indians? I picked Napoli, so hey, I'm right there with him. So hopefully he'll keep doing well. But it's been fun to watch these guys this year. I mean, I always try to keep up with the Indians, even though I'm out of the country there for a little bit. So
they've had a great year at home. You'd love it. I mean, they had a streak. We've had to go back in the record books a lot this year. They won 14 consecutive games. They stole 8 bases in 1 game. They hit 4 home runs in an inning off Verlander.
That's right.
I mean, you could go on when we start talking about it. More and more stuff comes up, but they've really had a magical year here. It's been a fun one to watch.
It's awesome. It's been good. What's been nice is my daughter Ashley's here with me.
Oh, is she?
So she came up, but she just. If anything happens with the Indians, I will know about it because she'll let me know. So she's kind of kept me up on the whole year how the Indians were doing. Yeah. And the new kid, Naquin, is just.
Tyler Naquin, right.
She's like, hey, this kid's new. He's up and coming. He's really good. So I've been kind of watching him a little bit. So it's been fun. I've been able to follow it because she follows it so closely. It's been nice.
Corey, from a former power hitter's perspective, what's it say about a guy in a Mike Napoli who at age 34 has had the kind of year he's had, bouncing back.
Career highs
in home runs and runs batted and games played?
You know what? It's good. It goes to show, I guess, what the strength and conditioning guys do these days.
Yeah.
They keep guys in shape. They do a lot of good things off season. At least it's not, hey, we'll see you in spring training. They actually do call players now and say, how's your conditioning going?
Oh yeah.
How's your off season going? And at least contact somebody. So that's been the good thing. But to see that, 34, you know what? He's stronger probably. He's smarter. Shows a lot of good things that he's got going for him. And, you know, they say between 28 and 32 are your good years because you've kind of learned a little bit. You understood what was going on. You kind of understand what the pitchers are trying to do. So it's outstanding to see what Napoli's been doing this year.
Yeah, he's brought a lot of these young kids with him, too, where they've been able to follow him, and he's been a pretty good leader for these guys. Which
is awesome. He's kind of been there and done that. You know,
yes.
With Texas, you know, he had some, you know, championship, you know, teams that he played on.
Right.
So there's no, which is nice. You know how it is. It's nice to have veterans around. There's no panic there. There's like, hey, guys, we're going through a stretch right now. We'll be okay. Keep doing your thing.
Kipnis strikes out to end the inning. We'll continue with Corey Snyder right after this. Fourth inning for Chicago. He has 2-run homer, accounting for all the offense in this game so far. That came in the first. Off Trevor Bauer, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Justin Morneau due for the Sox. And a roll with the first. Napoli will flip it, and that's out number 1. We're talking with Corey Snyder, former Indians outfielder and current hitting coach via Mexico, the league champion manager as well. So what a great summer for you. But I was curious, we were talking about Mike Napoli, who's playing at first base tonight, and you know, being a veteran, you know, as your career started to evolve at a young age in Cleveland, and unfortunately a lot of the teams, a lot of the young guys that came up with the Indians, they saw good players around them, but they were never together very long. As guys started to come and go, did you ever find yourself in a position of, wow, I'm kind of like all of a sudden the veteran here, like one of the leaders? Were you ever comfortable in that position, and how did you approach it?
And I think early on I probably wasn't comfortable with it. I was just, you know, the veterans that I looked up to were Joe Carter and Mel Hall and, you know, Brett Butler and, you know, Pat Tabler and Big Andre Thornton was there.
Right,
and I mean, it was, but it's just, you know, I was still young when those guys were gone. So I didn't really feel like I was the veteran that had been around a long time yet. So I didn't have a chance to really, you know, take guys, you know, under their wing like, you know, Brett did with me and, you know, Joe Carter. I mean, that was the fun part about the whole thing.
Fly ball to deep left, 2 down. Where all did you play? You know, after you left Cleveland, where else did you play the rest of your career?
Well, I got traded to Chicago, and I was in Chicago for most of that next year, and then I got traded to Toronto for the last little bit of '91. And then I went to San Francisco for 92, and then I signed with the Dodgers.
Toronto in 92. That's when they won it. That's when
I know. Just let me hang on one more year.
No kidding.
I know, but it was fun to go up there for the 2 months and hang out with Joe Carter, and he was up there, and I mean it was fun. I mean Tabby was there, and it was kind of fun to follow those guys. But I kind of followed Brett also. He went to San Francisco, then he went to the Dodgers, so I finished up with Bugsy out there. So it was.
Well, Tabler's still in Toronto. He's doing the television.
Doing the television.
Tabby.
Yeah.
Let me see. Brett, he's managing somewhere, wasn't he?
He hasn't. Last year, I think this year was his first year. He didn't do anything in baseball.
Oh, okay. So all right, then
he was with the Marlins.
Right.
He was with the Marlins, doing stuff with the Marlins, and then they redid everything, and he didn't go back this year. So I think this year
the Marlins changed something.
I know.
Go figure.
Yeah, I can't believe
you got Joe Carter now with Arizona. They brought him over there.
Special assistant
yes, he is, and he's still living in Kansas City.
I saw him in the winter meetings this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
you're going to try and get back in this year, or?
I'd like to. I'd like to get back in this year. I mean, it was. It was fun. It was fun managing. I like the strategy. I like to do that, but there's nothing like being in the cage with the guys just hitting and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to get back, with an organization hopefully this year somewhere. If I can't get, assistant in the big leagues somewhere, it'd be nice to get in the minor leagues somewhere and kind of work up and help the kids. I mean, that's what I enjoy the most.
2-2 to Morneau. Swing and a miss, strikes him out. Corey, thanks for stopping.
You got it. Appreciate it always.
Pleasure to catch up with you. Corey Snyder with us. 2-0 Chicago, middle of the fourth. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Francisco Lindor is going to lead off here in the bottom of the fourth for the Indians. Well, let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, we all know that Francisco Lindor is in a slump, maybe the biggest slump of his major league career. Look closely at his bat. He's taped it in a fashion that we've never seen him have his bat before, guys.
Yeah.
Now, he did that for his first at bat. He went up there. First time he had the bottom of it taped up a little bit more. And guess what happened, guys? He broke the bat. So what he had to do?
Retape.
He had to retape a whole other bat. And he looked at me and he goes, that's where I'm at right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised he doesn't have 2 or 3 taped up in his locker prior to the game.
He usually doesn't have them taped like that. If you look at the very bottom of it, I don't know if
No, I saw it. They just showed a shot of it. But I see that. Did he just start it before today's game?
So I'm guessing when you see that, and there's probably some pad on the bottom, his hands are hurting a little bit, probably more than anything else. But he realizes where he's at. He smiled at me earlier. He goes, I'm not doing interviews. You don't interview people that haven't had a hit in 2 weeks.
Well, and when he has hit it, it's going to be right at somebody.
But he's smiling, and he gets it. He gets where he's
smiles.
at. He's all right.
We'll tell him to tomorrow tape about 2 or 3 more bats and be ready for it.
Now Lindor 0 for 2 tonight. It's going to bring up Mike Napoli. Knapp grounded out his first time up tonight. Always good to catch up with Corey Snyder. You know, that team, those teams he played on in Cleveland, you look back on it, that 1988 team in particular, because Tito played here. So you had Terry Francona, you had Ron Washington.
John Farrell.
We talked about this before. You have John Farrell. You had Dave Clark, who's a third base coach in the big leagues right
Charlie
now.
Manuel was the hitting coach.
Yeah. Let me think here. There's our buddy Rod Allen, who's a broadcaster for the Tigers.
He wasn't here that long, though, was
But
he?
he was on that team.
No
He's
kidding.
on the roster. Played played 5 games that year, so he counts. The Candyman, Bud Black, Johnny Farrell, Zeke, Doug Jones, Scotty Bales, our buddy. But, you know, what, Brooke Jacoby's hitting coach for Toronto.
Yeah.
Jay Bell was
he's the bench coach. He was the bench coach for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think last year was his last year with the Reds. I don't know if he's with anybody this year, but just interesting, out of that collection of players, how many guys are still in the game today one way or another. And a lot of them at the big league level holding really obviously prominent positions. Talk about Terry Francona being the manager here in Cleveland. Fouled off. So from that 88 club that Corey Snyder and Greg Swindell both played on, Tito, Johnny Farrell, Bud Black, Ron Washington,
all managed.
Charlie
Yeah.
Manuel.
Look at that. That is something.
Napoli pulls it foul.
Yeah, that is strange. 5 guys off the team that managed in the big leagues.
And not just managed, but won world championships, got the World Series.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think Ronnie Washington they didn't win one.
No,
but
no,
he
they
got
did.
to
But
one.
he got to back to back.
Yeah.
And he's coaching
cool.
third now in Oakland.
Two and a base hit.
Bingo.
Mike Napoli snaps an 0 for 21.
That's the way to get out of it right there. A 1-out single, but stay on the baseball. They're playing them the other way, and it's that gets you going right there. It's a fastball away. He waited on it. Look at him. He didn't really try to pull that ball. It's almost like he's tried to slap it that way. And that's all you have to do sometimes. But there's a single, and that's got to feel good. So he snaps his streak.
Jose Ramirez ground out his first time up, pops this one up.
That's in the seats.
Yes, it is. It's that blustery wind. It blew it out into the seats down there.
Well, when we came in, it was nice and sunny, but it's the first time we've seen clouds like this in a while, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been gorgeous.
And the wind has picked up a little bit since game time.
And it's blown in from right center.
It was 75 at game time. It's already dropped to 72.
But still, we're in the
lake effect snow is not imminent.
We're in the last week of September.
Ramirez fouls it back. I don't know. Have we had better weather than this homestand? It's been just dynamite.
We've been saying that all year long.
Remember, Saturday was supposed to rain all day and night, and they got the game in without more than a, what was it, about 10-15 minute delay at the start.
Yeah, it didn't even rain.
The pitch, and Ramirez leans back. 1-2. There's a shot toward left field, and it's a foul ball by maybe a foot. That's a shame. That had extra bases written all over it, and perhaps a run on the board for Cleveland, but just a tad foul.
Yeah, watch.
Another look right down the line.
It started off in plenty of fair territory, but it's sliced, and it just does go foul.
You know, I was thinking about this drive at the end of the day. There's no doubt, and don't misunderstand me, everybody on this club, this organization, would love to have Michael Brantley on this team right now. But you start thinking, had Brantley not been injured, would we have found out how good Jose Ramirez could be this year?
Probably not. Not like we have to this point.
There's a fly ball, deep
See
right
that?
field.
Talk about
Garcia back, gone to Souvenir City.
I don't think so. To answer your question, I was rudely interrupted by a 2-run homer.
Jose Ramirez, his career year continues. It's his 11th homer. He's driven in 73.
Oh boy, you couldn't ask that question at a better time. And he just gets a pitch and watch it. It just leaks out over the plate. He back-legged it. Now you don't see him pause, but he know he hit it well.
Yes.
And I mean, he always is on balance, Murph. He is always on balance, and it comes back, and that ties the game. So a pair of 2-run home runs in this ball game. It's the 11th home run given up by Gonzalez.
Yeah, Ramirez. Look at Andre down there. What are you doing? Look at Andre giving it to him.
I was asking if he's going to stand there all night.
Well, what did he say?
He smiled and said maybe.
It felt good. I haven't seen him lean back like that.
He hasn't done that in a while.
No, I haven't. I've never seen him do that.
When you hit him like that, you might as well admire a little bit. Lonnie Chisnall, base hit. His first time up. This one's in the air to left. Long run in from Melky Cabrera. And he makes the catch, 2 down. Okay, time for an in-game update. Here's Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Keeping an eye on that Tigers game. They're playing host to the Royals, looking for some help lowering that magic number. Detroit grabbing an early lead. Justin Upton doubling out to left, scoring Miguel Cabrera. That was Upton's 25th double of the season. Victor Martinez had just homered. It is now 3-0 Tigers in the bottom of the third, guys.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Here's Coco Crisp, fly to deep right. His first time up, and he takes a strike. 2-2 ball game now. Each team with a 2-run homer. And Coco Crisp takes the ball in the dirt.
He was there. Good try.
Well, Feller was never much of a fielder. He was a pitcher. So.
Well, you know what? He got up there. He protected whoever was behind him. They better thank him.
That's a good point.
You know, somebody down that row, he did a great job to just stop it from somebody getting hit. But he, a little embarrassed. He didn't catch it, but good effort.
His hand's stinging too. Even with the glove.
He better buy something that's ice cold. They better get a cold beer or an ice pack because that ring's not coming off. That's why you take your ring off when you have the glove on. He's gonna have to ice that hand down.
Let's buy that man a beer. The 2-2. Smashed up the middle, almost took Gonzalez with it. And Coco Crisp aboard with 2 outs.
This is the second time Coco's hit the ball right on the nose. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's lucky he didn't take Miguel Gonzalez with it. And that ball squeaked by him. It barely missed him. So now a 2-out base hit by Coco.
And it gives Tyler Naquin a chance to bat.
The last start he made against the Indians, Matt, maybe you remember, it was in the second inning, the bottom part of the lineup. I think the last 3 or 4 guys, they ended up scoring 3 runs off them in the second inning, and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was shut down from that, and then the Chicago offense took off.
Coco had a good lead, and he able to get back. The Indians have stolen more bases against the White Sox than any other opponent this year.
Well, it looked like he may have it in his mind with 2 outs. But what it does here, too.
Narvaez has thrown out 1 base runner. They're 21 out of 22 against him. Now, again, I'm not throwing that all on him because pitchers have to give you a chance. But
that's true. But you know what? You put pressure on him, and we'll see. I want to look at his move here.
Naquin shoots it in the left.
Moot point now. That's the approach. If you watch the swings and the hits the Indians have today, Santana, you know, he had a beautiful swing his first at bat, and then Napoli went to right field, and Ramirez just hit a great pitch that was down the middle, but Coco went the other way. Here comes Naquin going the other way. Stay on the baseball. Use the big part of the field. He's changing speeds. He's throwing strikes. He's not walking guys.
Well, isn't that sort of an age-old offensive approach?
It is.
Look away, react in.
Yeah, right. They're 4 for 5 with 2 strikes. So I mean, they've been able to get 2 strikes. It's not putting you away. So don't get greedy and try and pull everything. Use the whole field. Think middle and react in. Yeah, if you pull it, or if he makes a mistake.
It's going to bring up Roberto Perez. First time up, he grounded 1 back to the pitcher. And as you'll see from Roberto Perez's season statistics, they're not all that glowing. But with runners in scoring position so far this year, he's batted .306, so he's been able to come up with some hits when they have needed them.
Well, for the most part, he's always hitting 9. And if you can get guys on base when he's hitting, they have to pitch to him because they don't want to roll over to Santana, who's following him, and he's swinging a hot bat. So if he's patient enough to look, he should get a fastball to hit in this at bat or in every at bat. I mean, he has a pretty good idea of the strike zone too.
There's a strike for me. That's
okay. You give him that one. That's a 1-0 pitch, and that's a nice little slider away.
I think at times Roberto has almost been too patient, where he's maybe let some good pitches go by instead of. Nothing wrong with being, if you're going to make an out, who cares if it's the first pitch or the third pitch?
That's right.
If it's a good one you think you can get after.
If it's one you're looking for, hit it, especially a fastball.
That's off the plate, 2-1.
You know, Gonzalez, he's not a real big strikeout guy, nor does he walk a lot. And he has the 1 strikeout, hasn't walked anybody, but he's given up 6 hits. He's going to give you, if you take what he gives you, you can get your hits.
Right.
And you can hit him out of the game. He's not going to walk you out of the game.
I mean, there's a case where he got fooled. He was trying to hit that one out of the ballpark. And
both pitches he's thrown have been sliders. That's the pitch that both strikes.
Good block. Runners hold. And a full count.
Looked like he tried to put a little more tilt to that one. That looked like it might have been a curveball.
Well, he wanted it down. I don't know that he wanted it quite.
That almost looked like a curveball to me compared to the slider.
Yeah. You could see Gonzalez, or the Narvaez, before the pitch tapped his glove in the dirt. He hit it down, but I don't think he wanted it out in front of the batter's box like that. Runners go on the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Inning over, but Jose Ramirez with yet another big clutch hit. Tied at 2 after 4. Brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. 2-2, fifth inning. And Todd Frazier takes a fastball for a strike. Frazier, an opposite field single his first time up. Curveball in the dirt. And 1-1. Broke his bat. But that's going to get down and go deep into the corner. And Frazier has a leadoff double.
He is now 2 for 2.
And the Indians have more or less held him in check this year. He came in batting only .203 against Cleveland pitching.
Well, that was a breaking ball. Sounded like it cracked his bat, but he was able to get out in front of it, hit it in the corner, and now back comes Chicago. They've hit for the cycle in their 4 hits. They have a single, a double, a triple, and a homer.
Avisail Garcia fly to center, his only time up. Slicing deep right in the corner, Lonnie, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Garcia, and the White Sox come right back. The first 2 batters score here in the 5th, and they're up 4-2.
Well, all the scoring, 2-run homers.
You don't see a lot of opposite field down the right field line homers in this park.
Well, and with that wind blowing in, it's not helping it. You know, so he had to hit that ball pretty good. He stayed inside. That was a fastball in, and he just stayed on it. It shot down the line. Fastball, here it comes. Look at him stay inside the baseball, kept his head down to it, and he's looking up. I don't know if he saw it go off the bat or not. That's his 12th home run.
So see a lot of right-handers drive it out of here to right center, to right field, but down the line like that, not very often.
So 2 pitches, and Chicago goes right back on top by 2. Trevor Bauer, normally very good when he gets runs on shutdown innings, but not tonight. So he has given it up in his last 5 opportunities when the Indians have scored and Bauer has gone out and taken them out. He's given up 7 runs.
There's a liner right at Chisenhall. 1 down.
Well, you can purchase your 2017 Indians season tickets now, and you'll get priority access to all postseason games. Plus, you'll get priority access to opening day, team shop discounts, much, much more. Visit Indians.com postseason for full details.
So Bauer facing Carlos Sanchez, who flied out his first time up. He shoots one out of play. Sanchez against the Indians this year, 3 for 16. It's 0-2. And that's strike 3.
Could he get a piece of it? I didn't think so.
4th strikeout for Bauer, 2 down in the inning. And we'll turn it over to the top of the order and Adam Eaton, who is 0 for 2 on the night. This is a White Sox club that had lost 5 in a row coming in, 6 of their last 8. And when you look at Chicago's season under Robin Ventura, we've mentioned it before, they got off to a great start. On May the 9th, they started a road trip down in Arlington. They beat the Rangers in 12 innings, and they were 23-10 with a 6-game lead in the Central Division. They proceeded to lose 20 of the next 26 and fell 3.5 games out.
So that goes that great. There goes that great start that you worked all for. You know, turns over in another month.
And then on the 4th of July, they beat the Yankees 8-2. Foul ball. After that win, they were 43-40. They were 7.5 games out, and then lost 11 out of the next 14. And that, for all intents and purposes, was the end of their season.
Took some steam out of them.
And I guess,
well, they haven't played well on the road. They're 31-47. They're 29-41 in the division, so they can't, defeat the divisional foes. That you're in trouble.
Naquin calls for it. The center fielder makes the catch. The good news is Bauer retired 3 in a row. The bad news is the first 2 reached and both scored, and it's now 4-2 White Sox.
It is going to be Fan Appreciation Night. There's only 2 more home games left after tonight. Fan Appreciation Night tomorrow against the White Sox. It'll be $1 dogs. You can grab a schedule poster. Post-game fireworks for the last time. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Carlos Santana to lead it off, and he fouls one off his foot.
Uh-oh. He did that yesterday, and what did he do? Came back and hit a home run on the next swing.
Out of play. Santana yanks one down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Kicks off the sidewall, and that'll enable him to easily glide into second base with a leadoff double. Boy, you don't see balls take a crazy carom like that. I don't know if it hit one of those poles.
It was barely
down
fair.
The sideline.
Look at Santana, thought it was going to be foul. Watch him, he stops, and then he kept going. It was barely fair. And I mean, he hit that ball on the nose.
Yeah, it hit one of those little support poles.
Yeah, that kid did a nice job of getting out of the way, and it ricocheted, did a complete 90-degree turn to right field. Santana goes out and gets a double, so they come the Indians, and he was down 0-2.
Now Jason Kipnis is 0 for 2 on the night.
I think he ought to foul a ball off his foot every at-bat. He better get, as we were talking about last night, some steel toes or some metal boots or something. But he didn't hit a homer. He hit a double last night and a double tonight after he fouled it off his foot.
He's our Herman Munster.
Carlos Munster.
We brought that up last night. That remember that? You remember that episode?
I do.
Leo DeRocher.
Yeah, Leo. Yeah.
Oh.
Leo, and that when you're out in L.A. filming, he was out there for the Beverly Hillbillies as well.
I wonder how much he got paid to do those shows.
Good question. I bet not a whole lot.
The 0-2 coming. Pulled foul.
For all you kids watching, you don't worry about the Beverly Hillbillies. You know, just Google it.
You can YouTube it. I'm sure they're there. Jethro.
Ellie Mae had a better fastball than Jethro.
Mr. DeRocher. The 0-2 in the dirt, hit Kipnis on the foot.
Yeah, it did.
Now the first 2 are aboard, and that was part of the Indians' success last night. They had their leadoff man twice in consecutive innings reached via the hit bad pitch.
They had 2 last night. That one right on the back foot. He didn't move. That was a Brandon Geyer at bat. He just kept his feet right there, and that breaking ball came in and caught him on the back foot, throws his bat down, and he'll go to first. So back come the Indians.
And Francisco Lindor, 0 for his last 20, trying to snap the skid. Showed bunt, pulled it back. I was thinking to myself, this might tell us about how he's feeling at the plate right now if he bunts. My thinking is Tito Francona probably doesn't want him to bunt. That's why he bats third in the lineup, even though he's been in a slump.
As you said last night, he leaves it up to Kipnis. I'm sure he leaves it up to Lindor too.
Yep.
You know, you go out there, if you want to get those runners over, do it. It's going to help.
Inside he takes. It's 2-0.
Clean enough. Yeah, go ahead.
Arch is dead on, though. He lets Lindor do this on his own. If you remember last year, he led the league in sacrifices. Now, Lindor has told me a lot of times when you see him bunt, it's because he's not comfortable with the pitcher or comfortable at the plate. So he'll do it. So far, he hasn't shown it, so we'll see.
Well, he went the first time. He looked like he wanted to hit the next pitch. We'll see what happens is right. It's all about comfort now. And you said he doesn't feel that good.
Rips it foul. That was the kind of swing you want to see. You get a pitch 2-0. That's if you're going to foul it off. You want to be aggressive and get after it.
That was a healthy cut. Yes, it was. Now after that cut, I would think he may come back with a changeup, something off speed, because he was ready for that 2-0 pitch. Loves that little slider. About 85 miles per hour.
Again, it goes back to that look away, react in maybe.
Put on a plate, tried to get an easy out there. Santana gets back plenty of time.
Looked to me like he was going to go change up to Lindor before the spin move. Set up out there again. In the dirt, he spiked it and goes to the backstop. They'll both move up. So a wild pitch puts the tying run in scoring position. And a full count now for Lindor.
Well, that helps out, man. It's only his third wild pitch on the year. You know, turn that over. That was a changeup, and it hit the plate and it stayed down. That's why Narvaez did not get it. It skipped underneath the glove, and that's the one thing as a catcher. You always try to keep that glove down. Well, that one hit the plate and skipped. Skip beneath it, so the runners move up. Now you take a ground ball to second. That would get a run home and a runner over.
And the payoff. Hit in the air. Right field, Garcia makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Santana. Tagging and going to third is Kipnis. So Lindor picks up his 72nd RBI, and more importantly, he's able to get the tying run to third with only one out.
Yeah, that ended up that wild pitch on that splitter that went to the screen, moved the runners up, so that enabled a nice at-bat for Lindor, who leads the league in sacrifice flies. That's number 14 for him. The Indians get on the board, make it a 4-3 lead. Now they have an opportunity to tie it. The infield's going to come in for Chicago, I see.
And for guys on the left side like Frazier and Anderson, this can be a scary proposition.
Yes, it can be for a guy that's not overpowering. But remember, the first at-bat, what did he do at the plate? He went the other way. Yeah. Keep that same mentality intact right here with that tying run at third base. Don't get, greedy.
Swing and a miss like that. Frazier's he's kind of like sidestepping over there at third base. He's not real comfortable about being that close when he sees the guy swing as hard as Napoli does.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez is going to be happy if Napoli keeps that swing up, because he'll be able to pitch to him. It's the other time when he took the base hit to right where it's tougher.
Up the middle and through in a tie game. Napoli's 99th run batted in on the year.
Well, there you go. His second base hit with that infield in. Your average goes up by about 100 points. I don't think he hit his location on the breaking ball. And Napoli gets up there, and that was no. Did you see where Narvaez had to come back? That was not where they wanted it. But Napoli gets the base hit, ties the game, and back come the Indians. They score their 2 without a home run. The first 2 runs in the game without the home run ball.
I think Robin, yeah, he's going to make the move. So Miguel Gonzalez goes just 4 1/3 innings here tonight, charged with 4 runs on 8 hits. Timeout. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. We'll be back with the Indians and White Sox tied at 4. Sox tied up at Progressive Field in Game 1 of their weekend series. Welcome back into our Sports Time Ohio studio. We're watching that Tigers game. They're taking on the Royals, and it has been all Detroit all game. 4th inning, Cameron Maybin, his 4th homer of the season. This one a 2-run shot, bringing in Ian Kinsler. That would make it 6-0 in the top of the 5th right now. Tigers in possession of the 2nd wild card spot by a half a game, guys.
Well, actually, that's not good news. But thank you anyway.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of torn on that right now. Juan Minaya on now for the White Sox, and this is a heck of a story. But my thinking on that is the Tigers, are, to me, they're irrelevant. The Indians are on their own mission.
Absolutely.
So I think it's interesting that they could end up winning the wild card now.
Well, yes. My thinking is I want to celebrate.
I know.
Here
I knew
this weekend before the road trip.
I knew what you meant.
But that was my thinking, and I thought that Kansas City would have a chance with Danny Duffy on the mound, the left-hander, but not tonight. There he goes. He's off. How about that? Napoli took off, and he does the thing where he reads where the ball's going to be in the dirt, and the catcher sort of caught it and didn't pay attention. And Knapp was on his way. Watch him. He's going to read the ball into the dirt, and there he goes. The catcher never saw him. He was going to hand it to the umpire for a different ball. So that's a stolen base. How do you like that? That's his 3rd this year from doing that. Believe it or not.
But Ramirez in the hole 0-2. Shoots it to 3rd. Oh, Frazier kicks it into foul territory, and Ramirez is aboard. Napoli could not advance, but 2 on with only 1 out still.
Yeah, that play right in front of him. He knows it's just an easy play. He wanted to charge it. Normally you come up and you pick it, but it didn't stick in his glove, and it deflects out. Napoli can't advance, but they have runners at the corners. Give Chisenhall an opportunity. Go ahead. You said you had a story on this guy.
It's not a long story, nor is it an interesting one. However, Juan Minaya out of the Dominican Republic is a young man that, you know, obviously haven't heard a lot of. He was with the Astros organization. The White Sox got him off the waiver wire. He has made 7 straight scoreless appearances to start his career, and he's the first White Sox reliever to do that since Sergio Santos 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a while back. And lefties are only hitting 154 against them. They're 2 for 13, now 2 for 14.
Chop just fouled. So whether or not this guy is a diamond in the rough and the White Sox may have stumbled upon something remains to be seen. But so far, they've got to be impressed.
Well, I'm sure they'll get a nice look at him the rest of the way, you know, for the last 10 games of the season. But as we say, in spring training in September, it's tough to make decisions on anybody, especially when you're on a team out of it.
1-1 pitch. Guy told me a long time ago when I was kind of first starting out, don't be fooled by what you see in March or September. And over the years, I often thought about that. I don't know that that's one of those that holds true all the time, though.
Oh, it may not hold true all the time, no, but it does a lot of the times, I'll tell you. But then that's small sample size too. It's like, you know, what situations you're in.
Chisenhall down on strikes, 2 away. I think the point is when the pressure's off, it's hard to get a true read on a player. And obviously spring training, it's definitely tough to make good sound baseball decisions just based on
if you're not in position to make a team, it's hard. You've got to have an extraordinary spring. If you're not on the radar.
Which we agreed that Tyler Naquin did this year. I mean, he went to camp with an opportunity to win a job, and he did everything within his power to win that job. And he did, rightfully so. Didn't guarantee that he was going to be here the whole year. He had to go back for a spell.
That's okay. A lot of players do.
But since he returned, he's been dynamite. Two on, two out. Coco trying to deliver and break the tie. The other thing about September is that, you know, I said before, look at Detroit, boy, their schedule down the stretch here is really tough. You make a look at somebody else and say, boy, they've got an easy schedule. There's no such thing in September, because sometimes those teams with nothing to play for are the ones that beat you.
Well, they have to win. They can't afford to lose, Detroit, and they're playing with it. They've got to get after it. It's must win for them if they're thinking playoffs. No, they're in the picture, and they don't have to look at anybody else. They have to take care of their own.
Yeah.
And win. Exactly like we do. Anybody that wants to get in there, just win. You don't look around.
The 2-1 on the way to Coco, and he fouls it off. I still remember in 05 when the Indians were coming on a stretch and they had a chance.
Minnesota, you thinking?
And it was Tampa Bay.
Oh,
and
Tampa,
Seth
yeah.
McClung came in here and shut him out. Like, Seth McClung, how is this happening? Well, they were playing free and easy, and the Indians, you could see it. They wanted it so badly. That group, Coco and those guys, they were just pressing so hard because they wanted it so badly. And that was an example of how that can work against you sometimes.
Yes, it can.
2-2. Ripped. Foul.
Send along some birthday wishes. Gladys Brown of Saginaw, Michigan is 100 years old today. Gladys, happy birthday. Frank Toth of Ravenna is 78. Betty Lou Platt of Southington is 90. And Carl Brazina of Chesterland is 96. Happy birthday to you all.
Juan Minaya with 2 down in the inning, 2 aboard, tie game, 2-2 pitch upstairs in a full count. Ramirez reached on the air by Frazier. After Chisenhall struck out, Coco has put up quite a battle. And this smallish Friday night crowd trying to make some noise now. Runners go on the 3-2. Right fair, deep right, get down, go to the wall. Napoli scores. Here comes Ramirez on his heels. He scores 2, and Coco delivers in the clutch. The league's #1 hitter with runners in scoring position drives in 2, and the Indians now lead it 6-4.
Big base hit there, worked his way back into the at-bat. And there's a left-hander that earned his hit off Manaea right here. That's he ropes a double down into the corner, his 26th. Give him 2 more RBIs, and that's a big 2-out base hit. So they've been able to put a big 4 spot on the board. Napoli, Ramirez, they come in, they score.
Now Tyler Naquin. He pops one. Right field. No carry. Garcia. Inning over. Indians score 4 in the 5th. And they now lead it by 2. Include your first drink. It's only $13. Time's running out. Grab your friends. Get down here. First drink's on us. And there's only 2 games left.
That is right.
Trevor Bauer has been pretty consistent as far as his pitches per inning is concerned. His only problem has been the 2-run homer, and it's come quickly. A triple, and the next guy hit a bomb in the 1st. Then in the 5th, leadoff double. Next guy hit a 2-run homer. Other than that, he's been spot on. 1 down. As Anderson grounds out. Great clip of the game from last night. Mike Clevenger, he continues to show signs of getting better each and every time out. He went 5, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 4, made 80 pitches. So I think he still has
baby steps for
him. But
baby steps for him, because I'll tell you what, he started to throw that changeup to the right-handed hitters. It's come a long way. He still has some improvement to do, which everybody does. But you know, it's nice to see he came out and pitched well.
Outside corner, it's a strike. Melky Cabrera, maybe not so sure. Mike Clevenger, though, is a great example as Melky Cabrera shoots one down the line. He has just been a tough out. And he'll roll into second with the 1-out double. But you think about Mike Clevenger, and he's another example of how you can't predict what is going to happen in a baseball season. You and I get asked every year by people that we know and people that don't know us, hey, what do you think? What do they think is going to do this year?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea. You just cannot predict. We could certainly look at the team and make a guess based on what we have seen up to that point. But once the games start, you don't know who's going to be still standing in a month or 2 months. And here's a case where Mike Clevenger, no one saw him being part of this rotation this year based on who the Indians had coming back, who was going to be competing for spots. And yet now he is playing a huge, very vital role for
Could be a big impact. Could be a
stretch.
starter in the playoffs if they get there and when they get there.
So to me, guys like Clev, they're like the backup quarterback in football. You don't know when your opportunity is going to come, but you better be ready at any moment, because when it comes, there's a lot of people counting on you, and you've got to be ready. Abreu shoots one on the right side of the infield. Kitness flags it down. 2 away. Melky Cabrera slides over to third. Bullpen cranking up. Jeff Manship from the right side. Kyle Crockett, the lefty. Justin Morneau is going to be the batter. Bauer, I mean, he still only made, as you see there, under 70 pitches for the night. So a bit outside. Morneau way out in front of it, and it's 1-1.
Well, that's a tough pitch to square up when he throws it down in the zone where it's supposed to be.
Paints the fastball, 94 on the black, and he's ahead 1-2. Morneau doesn't like it because it's really a tough pitch to hit.
Yeah, you're right. If it was a strike.
Curveball in the dirt, able to hold off, and it's 2-2. First time up, he couldn't help himself with that breaking ball.
Now Trevor called out Perez, wants to talk to him here. Obviously in the 2-2 count in the situation, he wants to talk to him about what he wants to throw.
Now the 2-2. No chase and a full count. Canadian-born Justin Morneau. Thought he wanted to be a hockey player initially. He was a goalie. But baseball is what pulled at his heart.
He was looking curveball.
And that curveball locked him up. I mean, that fastball locked him up, and that's 3 straight strikeouts for Morneau. Bauer has fanned 5 on the night.
training plans. Yes, it is right around the corner. How about that? You can enjoy the desert sun out in Goodyear and let the Indians plan your travel assistance. Just go to Indians.com for more information.
Roberto Perez fouling one back out of play. To center field, well hit. Back goes Eaton, racing back, and he made a tremendous catch, and he might be hurt. He slammed into the wall full tilt.
Knocked the wind out of himself.
And they're calling for some help. I don't know if he slammed his shoulder in to the wall, but it was a heck of a play because he was in pretty much full gallop when he caught the ball and then slammed into the fence. And
as soon as it went into his glove, I wonder if his elbow caught him in the midsection where he knocked the wind out of himself.
I think that's a pretty solid wall out there. I don't think there's any give to it right there either. You know, sometimes you get some panels that maybe have a little movement in them.
Might be that left shoulder too. Watch how he goes in. It's backhand. He doesn't see the wall, and he see how that shoulder comes in. He didn't really. Left arm.
Could be that. Could be, you know, rib cage too. You hit his ribs are kind of exposed when he slams into the wall.
Yeah, it hit hard, and he's able to hold on to it.
That's like going over the middle and getting sideswiped by a linebacker right there.
Well, he's just laying flat. That's not good. Usually,
as you said, he might be just having trouble getting his wind again. That was a heck of a play, though. And Eaton, an Ohio boy at heart.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. You know, he's been playing most of right field this year, even though he has played center field for him. All right, he's ready to get up now. He said, okay. He might have been knocked silly, too.
Eaton went to the same high school as Dave Burba and went to play at Miami, Ohio, the alma mater of our own Court Berry trip. And he's having trouble getting off the field.
Yes, he is. He looks a little woozy.
You know, you're right, Arch. I think that might have been more than anything what happened. It might be a little bit of a.
Look at he doesn't know where he's at right now. He is real dizzy. Look at him. He's just straight down to the ground. He's looking. Well, he held on to the ball. He made a heck of a catch. Let's just hope he's going to be okay.
Well, if that is indeed the case, that concussion protocol nowadays, you know, it just might be, you know, almost like what they kind of refer to as whiplash, where the head maybe didn't slam into the wall, but
he doesn't look real good right now.
No. We certainly wish our best to Adam Eaton and his family right now. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jose Ramirez 2-run homer. Tied the game 2-2 in the fourth. White Sox came right back. Their second 2-run home run of the night. This one by Avisail Garcia made it 4-2, and then the Indians scored 4 in the fifth, highlighted by Coco Crisp's 2-out, 2-run double. Is it Leury Garcia? Is that who's coming in center?
Yes, it is.
In losing Adam Eaton, the White Sox lose not only the catalyst for the top of their order, but the #1 assist man among outfielders in the majors. He'd thrown out 18 from the outfield this year. That's #1 in the big leagues. So it's just Can't say enough good things about this guy as a ball player. And man, we certainly hope he's going to be okay. But it did not look good as he came off the field here tonight.
For Chicago, now replacing at Eaton center field is number 28, Larry Garcia.
So there is Leury Garcia. And with one out, Carlos Santana, the batter. He has 2 hits tonight and a run scored. He has 11 hits in his last 5 games.
Well, yeah, you got to have a 4-hit game. He's been seeing the baseball very well. Even when he hits foul balls, he's hammering them, hitting line drives. He's in a good frame of mind right now and seeing it very well. And that's one thing that'll help the pitcher. You know, when you're locked in like that, if you let the hitter not move his feet, that's fine. When you got to throw a pitch like this, which is not a bad pitch. See, I'm sure Santana thought that was a lot closer than what it was, but it was up there.
Breaking ball hit off the end of the bat.
Out of his bat, and he's going to get another one. He's so hot.
That's exactly what happens. And he's got a 3-hit ball game tonight. Wow.
2 of those tonight. I mean, he went up there, but he left the breaking ball upstairs, and he hit it off the end of the bat. It breaks the bat, but it falls in. So the Indians now with 10 hits, and Carlos with 3 of them.
And Juan Minaya,
wow, that was fast.
Is going to leave after going technically one inning tonight. Gave up 2 hits and allowed his first run of the year, though it was unearned. Of baseball. Hanley Ramirez, last 24 games, pretty good.
You think? And the 3 Red Sox with 100 ribbies. Well, he can hit. He's always been able to swing the bat, no question about that.
Boston currently in a dogfight right now with Tampa Bay, 2-1 Red Sox in the 7th. Speaking of dogfight, Baltimore at home hosting Arizona, and the Diamondbacks lead that game 2-0 in the 7th inning.
Oh.
That's Shelby Miller, who haven't heard much from this year. Swing and a miss by Jason Kipnis. And it's quickly 0-2. Dan Jennings. I don't think there's any issue, any question that the White Sox, when they look to the offseason, how they're going to improve their club, the bullpen has to be a priority. They've got some good arms, but overall it's been a rough year. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Kipnis. 2 away. Even David Robertson, who is the kind of the bedrock stalwart at the back end, he's had a rough year.
Well, he's been very good, but he's had some bad blown saves. Yeah. Some ugly, really bad.
Yeah, not that a closer ever has a good blown save.
Well,
I know what
no,
you're
but
saying.
I'm saying one run when you go out there and one time in Kansas City, wasn't he going to pitch just to get some work in, and ended up they had that 6-run ninth inning.
It's like the worst, the biggest comeback ever.
Right.
Like 100 years.
They have 8 or 9 straight hits. It was a bad one, but he's had a great year as far as saves goes, but he had a few blown ones at the wrong time.
Francisco Lindor drove in a run with a sac fly his last time up. Now the 2-0. Juan Gahn in 0-1 had 16 sac flies. Albert in the old stadium had 14.
Yeah, Lindor got his 14th tonight. Carlos had 13. Robbie.
I didn't realize this, but the sacrifice fly as we know it was not instituted as a rule officially until 1954. So before then, I guess there were different variations of the rule. 3-1. Down low, ball 4. So Lindor draws a 2-out walk, and once again, Mike Napoli will get a chance. Napoli 2 for 3 tonight. He has back-to-back hits, an RBI, 2 runs scored. Curveball gets over the outside corner. Last time up, it was an off-speed pitch that did not find its location, and Napoli stroked it through the middle of a drawn-in infield. Yeah. The party was on.
Well, 2 hits tonight, 1 to right field, 1 right back up the middle, and make it again.
He's going to bloop this one into center field, and racing around third is Santana. He'll score.
The 100 RBI now for Nap.
And that's a 7-4.
That's what he needed. That's what he needed, something to get him going. This one, it's a flare. Gets in on the trademark. He fights it off. He's got a right hit to base hit to right, base hit up the middle, drive in a run, and now a little flare to center. Those will feel good. Those are just like home runs, boy, when you get those ribbies. 100 on the year. Congratulations.
Been a while since we've seen a guy drive in 100. Jose Ramirez drove in 2 in the 4th with a home run. And it's outside for a ball. Ball hit deep to right field. Garcia back. He won't get it. Lindor scores. Here comes Napoli. He'll score 2. Ramirez has driven in 4 tonight.
Boy, what a nice swing that was from Jose. He drives the ball to right field. I mean, over the head of Garcia, who thought he was cheating in a little bit. But I'll tell you, that swing from Jose, another double for him. 44. Look at it. Shoots it, short hops the wall, and Napoli able to score from first base. So put 2 on the board. It's a 9-4 game. And the Indians, they have 12 hits.
And the Achilles heel of the White Sox continues to bite them. The bullpen has coughed it up. Lonnie Chisenhall 1 for 3 on the night. It's inside, ball 1. A little bit outside. Count for Chisenhall. Bullseye taking all the way.
Well, the Indians didn't score in the first 3 innings, but they got 2 in the 4th on the Ramirez home run, 4 in the 5th, and now 3 in the 6th. So some crooked numbers going up there in a hurry. Napoli scored. He has 3 hits, scored 3 runs. Ramirez has driven in 4.
Lonnie with a late swing there. I don't know if he was trying to shoot that the other way or just got a late reaction to it, but it's a full count. Well, the Indians have scored 2 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 3 more here in the 6th. They've overtaken the White Sox and lead by 5. And if Jennings loses Chisenhall, Coco Crisp would be next. And that almost hit him. It's ball 4.
He might be done.
And Robbins on the top step of the White Sox dugout talking to Don Cooper. Now he steps back down, so Coop's going to go out and talk. They're going to stay with Jennings rather than go to the youngster Inoa, with the switch hitter Coco Crisp coming to the plate. Our buddy Ken Rosenthal at FoxSports.com had a nice little story online on FoxSports.com and talking about Terry Francona and how Tito does such a great job of blending the sabermetrics with the human element of the game. Because if it was as easy as just punching up the numbers on a laptop, anybody could manage.
Right.
But you've got to be able to take that information and apply it to real human beings.
Yeah, individuals, right.
Now, I don't know what a lot of these numbers mean because some of this stuff just frankly is a little more technical than we follow on a basic day-to-day basis. But Kenny says if you want sabermetric bona fides, the Indians lead the majors in percentage of plate appearances with the platoon advantage. Not just when they're hitting, but also when they're pitching. If the season ends that way, they'll be the first team to lead in both categories since the 1985 St. Louis Cardinals. Ground ball up the gut. It's through. Around third, Ramirez will score. On his way to third, Chisenhall is safe. 10-4 Cleveland. And it just might be over and out for the White Sox tonight.
Yeah, Coco coming back, his third RBI, his third hit. You've got Santana, Napoli, and now Coco with 3 hits. And this one gets under the glove of Anderson. And Ramirez comes around to score. Chisenhall hustles his way into third, just beats the tag. And now,
and the base running.
Yeah.
And Kenny writes, the base running of the Indians ranks near the top in the majors of both the standard and the advanced metrics. So,
well, we've been watching it every day. How they calculate it, we know they've been doing a good job. You know, I don't know how you.
It adds up to 89 wins.
Exactly.
And on their way to number 90. Timeout for a pitching change. Where the Indians have hurt the White Sox both with a home run ball to the porch and also by just knocking it all over the yard. And their lead is 10-4. Michael Ynoa coming on. We'll go down to Andre Knott.
Well, as you continue the conversation about Tito and sabermetrics and numbers and how he uses them so well, we've talked all week long about the outfield numbers in the platoon system. The thing for Terry Francona that works with the Indians, he says when he was a manager with Philadelphia, he didn't know what any of that stuff meant. He was talking over his head. But in his years in working with the Indians, with the Red Sox, and even with the Oakland A's when he wasn't the manager, he's learned little bits and pieces that he respected. He said he never had a laptop as a manager, but now what works here with the Indians best is this, and you guys will understand this. He still doesn't get all the numbers, but he works with the right people that give him the numbers that make sense to him. So they don't give him everything. They give him what he's told them he understands, and he works off of that.
Yeah, and he applies that to the people that he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
He uses his people skills with the numbers that make sense to him.
Yeah. I mean, you can add a lot of numbers when you start talking about baseball because it's all numbers.
Upstairs, and it's 2-0. But I think where Terry excels is being able to, as Andre said, give me something that I can understand, because I have to sell this to the player.
Exactly.
I can't just tell him you're not batting tonight because the numbers say this, and that.
Right.
I've got to sell it so that
They
guy,
got to buy in.
that guy understands and believes, so that when I do call on him, he may not play tonight or start tonight, but when I do call him, he's not going up there going, well, he doesn't want to play me. He doesn't believe in me. So there is that.
You know what? I've
element.
never seen it like the outfield situation we have. Use as many guys as they have and still be as effective as they can be, and you have young and old out there. That's what's amazed me this year. And we talked about it this week, you know, how good their outfield has been. I mean, you look at it all through baseball. And we may not have the same outfield out there for a couple of times in a week.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
It might not be the same
Somebody
outfield
different
tomorrow.
every day. Oh, I'm sure.
But they buy in, they're okay with it, and that's a big part of it. People don't.
And they're
don't
ready to play.
understand that element of it. That, you know, and Andrew Miller might not accept the same role with every ball club, but he stepped in here and he's done whatever they've asked.
Well, he's made everybody else better here, and that's all you can do. You know, he's just like a closer. It doesn't matter when he pitches, because he knows he's going to go out and face his tough guys he has to face to get outs, and everybody else falls into their place and takes pressure off of them.
Might be in the 6th inning.
Right. That's like a
inning,
Napoli hitting 4th, or your good hitter where you Ramirez, the way he's been playing, takes pressure off everybody else. And these guys, this puzzle is put together very well.
2nd and 3rd, 2 down, 3-2 pitch, and another foul back. And I don't think we've maybe given enough credit to Carlos Santana for moving into the cleanup or the leadoff spot this year. Not easy for a middle of the order guy to sacrifice personal numbers, because he knows he's not going to put up the same kind of numbers.
Well, it's interesting when you were talking about strikeouts with him, and please step up, because I'm thinking maybe moving him to that leadoff spot has helped him.
Yeah.
Because it's a different perspective in the order.
And yet, when it's all said and done, he's having a career year offensively.
Yes.
The 3-2 smashed on the ground to short. Tim Anderson gobbles it up, and that will end the inning. Indians send 9 men to the plate. They tack on 4 more and now lead it by 6. Is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Michael Martinez has come in for Coco Crisp. Takes over in left field. That's the only change here in the 7th inning. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Chicago. Todd Frazier is 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, this is the offense is one nice thing, because you can go out and extend Bauer a little bit longer now, you know, because getting to his pitch count, it's not going to hurt him. But the 4 runs, when you only had a 2-run lead, he would have been in that bullpen. I'm sure if it was a 2-run game, he would have been out of it.
Fastball low and away, 2-1 to count.
He hasn't walked anybody tonight. Hey, they just hit a couple long balls off him. That's the only thing that has hurt him. He's pitched well.
And he popped him up back out of play. And it's a full count. A little high, ball 4. And I believe that is the first walk issued by Bauer.
You can see 56 strikes out of his 80 pitches. Let's see if he can come back and get a ground ball double play. Tito has, it looks like Kyle Crockett throwing up there for. He'll be in for the next hitter, Narvaez.
Avisail Garcia, he hit a 2-run homer in the 5th.
This guy's played well against the Indians this year. He's had some big hits. But you know, I think they always expect him to be better than what he is. I know he had some shoulder issues one time when he was diving for a ball early in the year. There you go, Trevor. Bingo.
Bango. Double play.
Make your pitch. Get out of that leadoff walk. Good job. Comes right back, and he got Garcia to hit that curveball in the ground to Lindor, and they're able to turn it. 119th double play turn by the Indians this year.
Omar Narvaez 0 for 2. And a foul right back. Bauer moving quickly, and it's in the dirt. The 1-2 delivery. A little high with it. Curveball and a one-hopper to second. Kipnis will throw him out. Stretch time in Cleveland. 10-4 try. Fans as they have watched the Tribe break out the bats and boom to a 10-4 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Roberto Perez will lead it off.
Yeah, it's been nice watching the offense have some fun tonight. Last Friday night here, for whatever reason, Goofy said they're 19-5 on Fridays, looking for their 20th win. For whatever reason, they play good on Friday night.
Fly ball on the left. Slicing. And that's out of play.
Perez robbed of a extra base hit in his last at-bat, where Adam Eaton had to leave the ball game. Although he took a hit away from Perez. We haven't had any report on him yet, have we, Tommy? Nothing yet.
Michael Enoa, 6'7". He was 6'4" when he was a young teenager at just 13 years old. A little bit outside to Roberto. He was 0 for 3 tonight. Boy, the White Sox had Miguel Gonzalez start. In the first 3 innings, he needed 41 pitches. Since the 3rd inning of this game, Gonzalez and the rest of the bullpen have combined to make 93 pitches.
Yeah, they've had to work hard. They really have. I started laughing when you said he was 6'3" at 13. Didn't you just show me a picture of yourself when you were 13 2 days ago?
Yeah.
In a football uniform?
That's true.
I don't think you were 6'4".
I was nowhere near that size. I can't even imagine.
That's what I'm thinking. That's awfully tall for that age.
I remember being at that age, and I was pretty tall for my age. Granted, that's a long time ago, but I was like 5'9", maybe 10. This guy gets 6'4".
Yeah, I know.
6'4" when he was 13
It's
years
like
old.
a giant.
Now the 3-1. Pop-up foul out of play.
Well, Perez may not have a hit tonight, but I like the way he's swinging the bat. He's had some pretty good aggressive swings. Even that first one, he fouled down the line in this at bat. His last out.
And pop-up foul.
Play.
Abreu.
Get out of play.
Did he make the catch?
Yes,
he did. One away.
Yeah, in his last at bat, I mean, he drives the ball. There it is, straightaway center field. Got on a fastball. Watch Eaton steal it. He runs smack dab into the wall, and he went down and stayed down for a while. He held on to the baseball, but it took an extra base hit away from Perez, and he's a little woozy right there. Looked like he knocked the wind out of himself, maybe a little whiplash. We haven't had a report, but that was the ball Perez hit in his last at bat.
Carlos Santana. If he hasn't hit it hard, he's hit it in the perfect spot tonight. He's 3 for 4, and his out was a line drive that was caught at first by Abreu.
But you hear us talking about it a lot during the course of the year. When a player's hot, you know, things seem to go his way, and it has tonight. I mean, the first time up, he hit a little flare. The second time up, he hit a nice double, like he's been hitting it hard. And then the last time up, cracks the bat, bloops it in. That's a great feeling when you're a player and the good things happen like that. It's a very frustrating feeling when you're on the other end, which everybody is throughout the course of a year.
Tied him up 1-2. Now the 1-2. Outside. Santana has credited Mike Napoli for his career year. You know, he said, look, me and him play every day. One of us is going to be the DH. One of us is going to be the first baseman. But just his presence, his bat in the lineup, Santana feels like it's helped him.
Well, I'll tell you, you can never, ever say a bad word about Carlos Santana when it comes to playing every day. He goes out there and he is a gamer. He's been through pain, and he's done it every year he's been here, man. Yeah. He goes out there. He's been in the heart of that lineup a lot of times, and he never begs out. He gets in there, and he gets after it.
The 3-2 inside.
Again, another walk. He finds his ways to get on base, boy.
94th walk of the year for Santana. Push for the postseason heats up tomorrow. Fox will show you Royals Tigers 12:30 Eastern, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go, which means by the time that game's over, or by the time our game starts, you'll know if the Indians are able to click off another number from their magic number. One on, one out. Jason Kipnis 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch and scored in that 5th inning. Foul back. The situation with Napoli and Santana. You know, a lot of people have asked me, who do you think the MVP for the Indians is this year? And I think a lot of us have said, boy, you know, where would they be without Jose Ramirez given the injury to Michael Brink? As Kipnis sends one sky high to left. And I think for me, not that this is an award, not that would take away anything from anybody else, but for me, I think Ramirez is that guy just because of how valuable he's truly been playing in the outfield and then moving to third base and playing defense and offense and on and on. But Mike Napoli, you can make a real strong case for the impact and influence he's had on the field and in the clubhouse.
You could ask 5 different people who their MVP is and get 5 different answers.
I think
you know what I'm saying. People are going to say Lindor. People are going to say Kipnis. People are going to say Ramirez. People are going to say Kluber.
You can make a strong case for every one of those guys.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is having a career year for the most part, and it's working out well.
Andre loves to argue. I bet he wants to get in on this.
Well, that conversation's been had down here during tonight's game when Ramirez's name has come up. And I'll keep the people out of it that are talking about it, but I'll ask the question as it was asked to me. How many games do you think have been won because of Ramirez? If you just flat out say, one of the persons who said this to me says easily 10 to 11 games they feel like they've won because of Ramirez this year, and he feels like that's on the low side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to sit back and go think about it. I couldn't think about it. Now, I know he's been very, very important guy here, as a lot of those guys are, because they play every day. I mean, those are your first 5 hitters in that lineup. Every one of them mean a lot. And I mean, they're exhausted, but I mean, they're playing. They're playing hard.
And I don't want to make a case for anybody over another guy, because I think that's what has made this collection unique.
Yeah.
They are truly a team.
Right. That's what this team. They are a team, and that's what makes them so good, because you can pick 4 or 5. That's what makes a team.
Yeah.
There's not one guy carrying you.
I just think I go back to what Grover used to say: a 4-hitter legitimizes the rest of your lineup. And Knapp has sat in the 4-hole.
Yeah.
Been there all year long. He's had a career year. Homers, RBIs. You can't underestimate that importance.
Get out for that.
Garcia runs it down to the gap, and that will end the inning. So we played 7, and the Indians lead it 10-4. of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (10-4) Indians lead it, and Eric Gonzalez takes over at shortstop as Francisco Lindor will get the last couple of innings off his feet. Carlos Sanchez steps in to lead off as Trevor Bauer pitches into the 8th inning. Still, as you see there, south of 90 pitches on the night.
Well, this is what I like. I'm glad to see that Terry sent him back out there. You know, he's been very consistent tonight. 15 pitches in the first, 11 in the second, 11 in the third, 11 in the fourth, 15 and 12 and 13. And he has 12 outs on 3 pitches or less. This is a great start for him, man, to come out there. He needed this, and that's why I'm sure they sent him back out there. Let's go. Keep it going. Get his work in.
Well, he loves to throw, too.
Well, I know he does. Hey, he's given up a couple of home runs. No big deal. But, you know, their offense bailed them out, so now he can go out and relax and work on his stuff he has to work on. You know, he claims he's had the best stuff going, you know, in his last few starts, even though he's given up a lot of runs. Well, keep working on it. Fine-tune it.
To third, Ramirez will have to hurry. Look at that throw. I mean it, tell you.
Yeah, right on the money.
Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Indians bullpen since August 1st. Dynamite.
Yeah, that's when Miller came over here. 2.86 ERA, 13 out of 14.
That ERA is the best in the American League. Zach McAllister getting loose.
Yeah, well, the Indians looking to go, what, 6-1 now on this homestand. And the only runs the bullpen has given up in that homestand was the home run by Upton.
Joe
Tigers.
Off Joe Colon.
Right.
That's the only run
That's
the
right.
bullpen is allowed.
Right.
Leury Garcia's first at bat of the night. He came on when Adam Eaton had to leave after crashing into the wall in center field. And he's in the hole 1-2 now. And a foul right back. Foul right back. It does not appear the Indians are going to get any help from Kansas City tonight. Detroit pummeling the Royals 8-1 in the 7th. The 1-2. But if the Indians hang on here, and there's no reason why they shouldn't up 6 in the 8th inning, they will reduce their magic number to 3. Which means, should they win the next 2 games, they'll need Detroit to lose at least once to have a chance to clinch and celebrate here at home.
Right, if the fans get a chance to enjoy it. Good fastball, inside edge.
And at 94, showing you he's still got more than enough in the tank.
Garcia, he locked him up. This is going to be our Circle K strikeout. Watch, he threw him a lot of breaking balls in that bat, and he finally sees the fastball. He said, how can I take it 3-2? But he locked him up, comes back with a really good pitch right there at the knees. We've seen a number of times tonight he's established his curveball early in the count. They're looking for it to put him away, and he's thrown fastballs by him. It happened to Morneau as well.
That heater in the dirt. Tim Anderson is 1 for 3 on the night. That hit came back in the first inning. He's grounded out twice since then. Curveball, and that one.
Okay, that one stayed up.
He waited back on it nicely, though.
Yes, he did. But that's what happens when you see that pitch and you can wait on it. It was a good pitch to hit, and Anderson got his base hit there. He's 2 for 4. Watch, he stays back, and that started just way too high. And Trevor knows it. That was my fault. Love to see him get this last out because Cabrera's had a good night off him so far.
Yeah, Melky Cabrera hit the 2-run homer in the first, and then he slapped a double down the left field line in the 6th. I'll say one thing about Melky Cabrera. He isn't messing around. He gets after it. Been aggressive early in counts. Up and away, ball 1.
Yeah, and that's his style of hitting. He was the same way when we were in Chicago last week.
Yeah.
You know, he has 38 doubles. You know, he hasn't hit the long ball. He has 13, 38 doubles, 5 triples.
Yeah, he and Kipnis started the night tied in doubles in the American League.
Yeah, you talk about Melky being aggressive. This is his 4th at bat, and he's seen 9 pitches. This will be pitch number 10 on the night to him.
Why wait if you get what you're looking for? That's kind of his philosophy. There's a big curveball, and I guess it was high. 3-1.
Well, this could be his last hitter. Good pitch.
Full count. Tim Anderson will be off, and Bauer's 3-2 pitch is slapped out of play. They've gone to the 9th in Baltimore. Arizona still leading the Orioles 2-1. If the Orioles fail to rally, it looks like they'll fall a game and a half behind Detroit for that final wild card position. Again, the 3-2. Foul up the first base side. Melky Cabrera, who's had a terrific month of September, came in hitting .321. 2 more hits tonight. One more time, the 3-2 pitch, and that one's ball 4. Jose Abreu will not be facing Trevor Bauer.
I didn't think so. Tito gave him his chance to get through the 8th inning, which I love to see. But the base hit and the walk is going to do it. But it was a really nice start. He hung in there, did a nice job tonight.
So Bauer getting deep into the ball game here tonight, and the offense giving him all the support he could ask for. White Sox have 2 on with 2 out. And Zach McAllister on to face Jose Abreu. McAllister hasn't pitched in 4 days, so he should be good and rested. When you've got this many guys in the bullpen, you can't keep everybody as sharp as maybe you would during the regular season. So it's up to each individual pitcher and the bullpen coaches and extra staff guys to try to get your side work in and maintain that sharpness as best you can. Now, there's nothing like getting into the game. You can't duplicate that intensity, that adrenaline surge.
And it's even tougher now in September. You know, the numbers that they have out there in that bullpen to get some consistent work.
Here's the 0-1 and a line drive into left, coming hard and making the catch. Michael Martinez ends the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians up 10-4. Mazda for Trevor Bauer, get the ball down. He did give up a couple of home runs, but outside of that, he didn't allow anything. He was really good, I thought, tonight. Obviously, it helps when they score for you, but
pitches on 3 outs or hitters on 3 outs or less getting the outs, and yeah, he was very consistent tonight.
And now here in the bottom of the 8th, Jacob Turner will be the 4th relief pitcher in the game for Chicago. Their starter, Miguel Gonzalez, went 4 1/3. 5 runs on 8 hits. Juan Minaya pitched an inning. He gave up 2 runs. Dan Jennings pitched 1/3 of an inning and allowed 3 runs. Michael Inoa, the only pitcher thus far to escape unscathed. He went an inning and 2/3 scoreless relief. Outside to Mike Napoli. Bit inside, and it's 2-1. he chops one to third, and a nice play by Frazier. His throw in time.
Oh, really nice play. He ended up over near the camera bay over there by the time he got done throwing that baseball. Napoli was looking for his 4th hit. And all of a sudden, here comes Frazier, and he knows he's got to get rid of it quickly. He's going to one-hop and beat Napoli. That's a really good play. Watch where he ends up. Over right near the seats, but just in time to get Nap.
It's going to bring up Jose Ramirez, who has driven in 4 runs tonight with a homer, a double. He has scored 3 times. To second base. Sanchez throws him out. As promised earlier, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. And here is Jose Ramirez's big night.
Well, from the left side, yeah, that was a nice swing on a ball. It comes back to his next at bat from the other side of the plate, hits a double into right center to drive in a run. So Ramirez, or excuse me, 2 runs. He had 4 on the night.
Popped the back. Not a play. Lonnie Chisenhall with a single. And a walk on the night, 1 for 3 in the dirt. He swings through it, and it's 2-2. Spiked in there. Kevin Smith tried to throw his body in front of it. Ball's crushed. Deep center, racing back and making the catch, Leury Garcia on the warning track. Indians go in order. We go to the 9th, 10-4 Tribe.
last 8 runs. They have a 10-4 lead as we enter the 9th inning here at the corner, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. 3 big hitters tonight. Santana 3 for 4, Napoli 3 for 5, Coco Crisp 3 for 4.
And scoring the last 6 runs with 2 outs. I mean, the resiliency and response runs from this team has been amazing. And Trevor Bauer after the first inning,
that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, join us afterwards for Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th inning, upstairs we go. Matt and Rick, take it away.
Zach McAllister's pitch is in there, a strike to Justin Morneau. Defensively now for the Indians, you've got Jesus Aguilar at first. Michael Martinez goes to second. And Abraham Almonte now in left, as McAllister tries to finish this game for Cleveland. Indians up 10-4. Morneau, Frazier, Garcia due for the Sox here in the 9th. To third, Ramirez to Aguilar, 1 down. Pat O'Brien play of the game. Coco Crisp blew it open. This was huge. 2 out, 2-run double.
Yeah, that gave them
They made it 6-4 and they never looked back.
Yes, sir. A big hit, 2 outs, 3rd and 4th run of the inning.
Fastball, I don't know. It looked like it was right down the heart of the plate. Adam Morrison there behind the dish as well for Cleveland. And that off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1. To left, deep, and foul right in front of the pole. I mean,
boy, it was
right in front of it.
Looked like it had the distance if it stayed fair. It came back with another breaking ball. Frazier was ready for it. They may want to take a look at it again. At least they're looking at it, but you can see right there it crosses in front of the pole and did not miss by much. Look at it. You don't see many pitchers doing that too often, do you? Get fouled. Yeah, you can see Robin. He knows that was a foul ball.
And that's a case there where a manager, he knows it's probably not going to make a difference in the game, but trying to get your player 39th home run, he's closing in on 40. It would have been worth a look, but it was clearly foul. The 1-2 swung out and missed. Zach threw it by him. 2 down. Boy, it's a shame only 18,937 on a beautiful Friday night with the Tribe closing in on the Central Division title. But those who are here have had a ball. And don't forget, tomorrow night, the series continues. And it wraps up Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. The final 2 regular season home games of the year. Magic number about to drop to 3. Strike call with a fastball. Garcia, 2-run homer back in the 5th. The last runs the White Sox scored tonight. They've only managed 2 hits since. inside. McAllister unleashes the 1-2 and a foul back. Garcia just got a piece of that to stay alive. Again tomorrow, 1 o'clock on your local Fox station. It'll be the Tigers and the Royals. And then we'll be right here at 7 on Fox Sports Ohio, Sports Time Ohio with the Indians White Sox. The 1-2 swung on and missed. This one's in the books. The Indians go to 90-63 on the year. They've won 4 straight, 7 out of 9. Magic number down to 3. Trevor Bauer, the winner, a new career high 12th win of the season. White Sox have dropped 6 in a row, 7 out of 9. They're 72-81. And Miguel Gonzalez, the loser, he's now 4-8 on the year.
Well, it came out and they had to come from behind after Bauer gave up an early home run. But I'll tell you what, the offense was up for the task, and they just continued to pound them. They had, through the middle innings, some big numbers up there, and they did great as an offense today. You got some guys rolling. That was fun to watch.
So the final tonight, Cleveland 10, Chicago 4. Some final thoughts when we return.